Welcome back. In today's video we're going to be going over some altcoin analysis, specifically Arweave. Now what is Arweave? Well, it's a data storage blockchain. And why is it different to other data storage blockchains? Well, it's the only one, certainly that I know of, that's got the capability of storing data forever. Or in fact it does store data forever. Now we'll just have a quick look at the Arweave website, and they say that Arweave is a new type of data storage that backs data with sustainable and perpetual endowments, allowing users and developers to truly store data forever for the very first time. As a collectively owned hard drive that never forgets, Arweave allows us to remember and preserve valuable information, apps and history indefinitely. By preserving history, it prevents others from rewriting it. So it's pretty powerful stuff there from Arweave. And if you think of world events in history where you say that history is written by the victors, well, this kind of thing with a permanent data storage prevents things like that from happening. So we'll have a quick look at the charts, and we'll start off on the weekly with Arweave, and you'll see that this chart here goes back to the 21st of September 2020, and that's on the Huawei chart, and I can't find any analysis going back further than this, so do let me know if anyone does come across any. So Arweave was created in 2018, so it goes back to 2018, and we'll see here that the first major level of support that we have is the level that was tested following the May crash of 2020. So this was last tested in July 21. We had the big breakout, and then we had the all-time high of $91.23. So we're currently in a bit of a downtrend here, signalled by this momentum line, and what I'd be looking for to see some kind of change in the market or change in trend, or a reversal signal, is firstly we want a breakout of this here, and ultimately before we can confirm a trend reversal we need to see a higher close candle than this previous candle here. So at the moment we're still in a downtrend, so is it a good time to buy Arweave? Well, if we go further into the daily we can have a quick look, and we'll see that we're trying to make a base here. So the bears are pushing price action down, where you've made your lower high, lower low. You've come back to retest this level here again. Haven't managed to close and break above these levels, which would have confirmed a reversal. We've come back down and we're testing these levels again now. Now, chances are we're probably going to come a little bit lower than this. You will tend to see a double bottom at these areas here, and we're on the daily chart here, don't forget. So you'll tend to see a double bottom before any kind of reversal, or possibly a head and shoulders pattern, which could also play out. But either way, we've got to come back and we've got to test previous areas, test this momentum trend line, and if we can manage to break and close above that, what you'll probably see is a bit of sideways action down here, so it can gain a bit of strength, let the indicators pull back down, and then go and test for its new recent high. So we've still got a little bit to wait on Arweave. I mean, if we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see, I mean, it's two things here, if you're investing or if you're trading. If you're trading, one thing that I could look for short-term gains, if you're trading bullish, would be a double bottom at this area here. But one thing that you can't forget now is we would be trading against the trend at these levels. So if you're able to manage to short at these levels, or you have ones, if you're a trader, you'd be looking at entry reasons for shorts rather than longs if you're a trend continuation trader. But if you're looking for shorter term gains, one thing you could look for a trend reversal is we're starting to trade in a bit of a range here. So a break and a close above here, and then you could possibly trade it up to the trend line or up to the 200 moving average. But the thing is, with trading at these levels, it's completely different, and a lot of people, what they will get mixed up with time and time again is the trading and investment. Now, I've got a trading strategy and I've got an investment strategy. I've got several trading strategies that sometimes any profits from that, rather than getting in my trading portfolio, would go into the investment long-term portfolios, and it completely depends on the levels and the time of the market. So I'll go through in some of my following videos what some of the investment strategy is, but what I'm trying to get at is that there's two different things. If you think of your investment as your pension, and if you think of your trading as your job, that's one way to look at it. So you've got a longer term plan and a shorter term money making plan. So you can see that we're trading in a range here, and what I'll be looking at for some kind of a reversal is firstly a reaction from here, a double bottom from here, and you might see a higher high, higher close candle. And you've got to remember that if we're going to be trading, we're going to be looking for short-term gains in here, because we're going to be ranging, and we're ranging against the trend. So we could be at levels of 28 here and 24 here, so you've got quite a little bit of room for a good profit there, depending on what type of trader you are. But I mean, looking at the levels, I mean, you go on the daily chart and looking at the levels of these, it's silly now, because we can come down a lot lower on the higher time frame. So you want confirmation in the lower time frame and short-term gains in a downwards or a ranging market. And don't be greedy really with your trading, because things can change at an instant. Always put a stop loss on there, which is the most crucial thing. If we go back down to the 4 hour, you'll see that if you were trading a double bottom on here, your stop loss would want to be just under these levels. And it depends on your strategy really, what kind of stop loss you'll do, what area. One thing that you can do is use what's called an average true range indicator, or an ATR indicator. And what a lot of people do is, if I just pull this up, I'll just show you quickly. The average true range is this indicator, signaled by this indicator at the bottom. And the way that you can do this is, if you were trading, for instance, one ATR below the previous swing low, you'd be looking at this level here, which was 24.80, and then you look at the ATR, the current ATR now, we're trading at just over 1, so you would add 1 ATR to that, and the price would come down from 24 to 23, so around about here. So you'd be trading 1 ATR below the swing low there. But it depends on your risk to reward. That's another thing. I mean, just as an example, this is not a good area, but as an example, if we got a double bottom reaction, a higher high, higher close, or some kind of a reversal candle, and we were trading at these levels here, and you had your stop loss at this level here, you got to look and you got to think, is your risk to reward high enough? Possibly not. You could shorten your stop loss. It all depends on your trading strategy really, and your trading strategy should always be based on back-tested results, so you know that you're going to be or have a higher probability of being consistently profitable based on your trading strategy. So there's all sorts of different circumstances, and I will go over them in later videos. So I do apologise if this is a little bit scattergun, but I just wanted to show you it mainly on the higher time frame, because ultimately what we want to be doing with tokens like Arweave that are probably going to be quite revolutionary is look to gain at lower prices. So I'd be quite patient. Certainly if I had some money, some dry powder on the sidelines, I'd be patient to wait and see if I can get these at levels of $16. So last time it was at levels of $16, we were back in June 21. So June 21 we were at $16, and in 1st of November 21, that's when we hit the all-time high of 91.23. So it's quite far from its all-time high now, but it's a bit of a volatile market at the moment, so I'm certainly in safer assets, and that's the reason why I sold most of my Arweave at higher levels and converted it into Ethereum and Bitcoin. because ultimately we want to be trading in less risky assets in higher volatile situations. So we knew that we were coming towards the end of a bull run. We don't know whether we're going to get another leg up, whether it's going to be a crypto winter. We don't know what the market's going to do. We can only observe and react to what price action tells us. One thing is we've got a lot of geopolitical events that are going on at the moment, and if you think of last year, the market was just allowed to run. You had the stock market, which was booming. You had everything which was allowed to run last year, and any negative news couldn't really have such an impact on the market as what the news has this year. I mean, the war on Ukraine and everything that's going on with inflation and the world events at the moment. It's so much uncertainty that anything can just drag price down, and that's why you just got to observe and see when you get an opportunity. And a lot of the time when the opportunity arises, it is during some kind of a catastrophe event or some kind of a world event which causes a mass capitulation, which is similar to what happened if we look in Bitcoin in the COVID crash of 2017, in COVID crash of 2020, sorry, which was in March. Doesn't look much there, but when we pull it up, here, it's quite a substantial drop there from 10,000 down to 3,700. So when there's massive panic in the market, that's what tends to happen, and look what happened afterwards. It's washed out all the people that were holding it long term. It's washed out. It's pretty much reset the market, and it's allowed that to happen. So I hope you liked the video on Arweave anyway, guys, and if you did, please give it a like, please give it a thumbs up. Any help's much appreciated. We're just early on in the channel, so thank you.